Dragons, we are back. T. Perry running the show. What's up, fam?
What's going on, man? It's your boy T. Perry, man. Back with another episode of In the Last Dragon. My man, my big brother Roy Rod. You know what I'm saying? We're just gonna go ahead and get to the bottom, just get to the topic at hand, right?
Yeah, man. So look, we're gonna run this a little differently. Tell us how we're gonna run it today. What we talking about, man?
So we gonna go ahead and if you haven't been paying attention, you've been living under a rock or whatever. There's been some things that's been going on this week, and I kind of saw it happening because me and you personally have had a conversation about this before it became official, like a week ago. But there's some events led up to Dana White yesterday, officially announcing that International Fight Week in July, Jorge Masvidal and Kamaru Usman will be throwing down for the welterweight championship in Vegas.
Wowzers. Jorge, like running it. His name is going crazy. He's got a lot of buzz right now. Usman, who has just been, he's defended his championship. He has really started to make a name for himself. Articulate, smart, Nigerian brother, if I'm not mistaken. Man, let's dissect what's happening, man. How do we get to where we're at right now?
So let's just preface this with this, and people may not know this. There's an underlying beef between American Top Team and the Black Zillions. This is where this all started at. Granted, the Black Zillions are not a team anymore. And, you know, the Black Zillions were led by Rashad Evans, Kamaru Usman, Michael Johnson, Vicente Luque, Melvin Gillard. Robbie Lawler was a part at one point, you know what I'm saying? So it was, even Brendan Schaub, it was a big thing because at one point, the team in Florida was American Top Team. But then once Rashad left Greg Jackson's and went down to Florida, he went to Imperial Martial Arts with Mike Van Arsdale and put this team together. And one day they was like, this team is made up of mostly black dudes and Brazilians. So that's how the name the Black Zillions came about. Well, what happened was with that too, there were a couple of fighters from American Top Team jumped ship and went over to the Black Zillions. So now you have this rivalry, right? The rivalry was gonna kick off anyway because a new team was on the horizon in Florida, and a former UFC champion, a top light heavyweight, was the captain of that team. Right. So it inevitably it was going to be an issue regardless. Now it became such an issue that the late Glenn Robinson, who was the founder of, I'm not sure if you remember the Jocko MMA clothing brand.
Probably if I saw it.
If you saw it, I got a hoodie. I got a hoodie in my closet. And if I showed you the logo, you would know what I'm talking about. A lot of fighters were sponsored by them. But if you go back and look at it, if you knew who American Top Team fighters were, nobody would don that logo on their trunks, shirts, hoodies, nothing. So it came him and Dan Lambert. Dan Lambert is the head coach over at American Top Team. Glenn and Dan don't like each other. So Dana capitalized on that around 2015 and said, we're gonna make an Ultimate Fighter series, American Top Team versus the Black Zillions.
That's what the Rashad Evans. That's when he ended up running.
This is when Rashad was still fighting. Rashad was still like kind of nursing some injuries a little bit, but that's when everything everything was kind of pulled. The layers were kind of pulled back. Rashad and Tyron had got into it at one point, like on a satellite interview situation, on one of the on a UFC Tonight. It was a big thing. Now, Kamaru ended up winning that season. During that season, that's when Jorge and Kamaru got familiar with each other. They were on the same set, the whole nine. So they know who each other.
Jorge was on that?
Oh no, he wasn't on it. But like after one of the episodes that Kamaru ended up winning, one of the fights he ended up winning, he had they how they do the recap of the show like right after, and Kamaru and Jorge was sitting by each other during the interview. So this is when Jorge had the shortcut, the beard wasn't as long, the whole, what I'm saying, like hair was, he was looking how we knew Jorge to look before he became who he is now.
Is that online?
That's on YouTube.
I'm gonna go check that out. Okay.
That's on YouTube.
Okay.
Now, jump forward to Kumar. Now, jump forward to last year, right? Kamaru wins the belt. Jorge is on this 2-3 fight winning streak.
Just beat he beat Askren.
Yeah,
and really blew up. Like he was already known, but he blew up.
He blew up. Now, don't forget that he had beat Cowboy. He had beat Cowboy recently. He had just beat Darren Till before Ben Askren.
Okay, so he was on 3.
He had just beat him. He had just beat Ben. He had just beat Darren Till before Ben Askren. Now, where people really started paying attention, it really wasn't so much the Darren Till fight. It was what happened after the Darren Till fight. He was backstage giving an interview. Leon Edwards, out of the view of the camera, is walking by and is saying something to Jorge in the middle of the interview. And Jorge was like, I guess they were talking about fighting next. And he was like, maybe, maybe not. And I guess whatever he said prompted Jorge to walk over there and 3-piece in the soda.
Right.
So now he's fighting Ben Askren. He knocks Ben Askren out in 5 seconds. Really, it was really more so too, but it took the referee that long to get over there and realize, like, get out of the shock of what just happened. So me, I feel like it was more so maybe 2-3 seconds as opposed to 5.
Dude, knee to the face crushed.
He was gone after the knee. He was gone.
Hey, with the knee it was over, and it was done.
Yeah, with them two.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
exactly. So now we've got 3 wins after Askren. And then he goes and gets ready for BMF.
Yes, he gets ready for BMF. Now, this is all after Kamaru has beat Tyron for the belt, right?
Yep.
Even though Kamaru beat Tyron in dominant fashion the way he did, Jorge was the hottest welterweight as far as buzz in the in the division, like in the world, really.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he was becoming the guy to fight.
Yep.
He was becoming the money guy.
And let's talk about this too. So you get Masvidal was supposed to be a tune-up for Askren. And he destroyed, Masvidal destroyed
Masvidal ruined a lot of plans.
Yes, because Askren was supposed to be the next face because he got almost like traded to be the next dude coming through the UFC. Like they was building him up based on his history of what he had did with
Bellator and won.
Bellator, yes, yes. So Masvidal ruins that, and then he turns around, makes an opportunity for himself. But along the way, another person made an opportunity for himself, and let's piece the dots with that together as well. If you look at who did he fight for BMF, the baddest.
Nate Diaz.
Nate Diaz also made an opportunity for himself.
Yeah. Now Nate.
Do the math on
this. Been saying he's the baddest. He's the baddest MF in the game. Him and his brother. They've been saying that, right? So this goes to the star power that is Nate Diaz, right? All he did was say, we're gonna fight for this, for the BMF belt. I say I want to fight. I want to, compete against this dude.
Yep, because ain't nobody else. Remember, they say ain't nobody else.
Yeah,
nobody else doing.
Right?
Nobody else did.
Now we got this novelty belt that just came up out of nowhere.
That even Conor McGregor was like, the heck is that?
Exactly.
Conor was hating on it.
Yeah.
Conor's like, what is this belt? Now we got a new belt, the BMF belt, that's like kind of like it's got buzz around.
It's got buzz.
Exactly.
Really, man, this is how I look at it. That BMF belt is a glorified fantasy football league belt.
Right.
That's how I look at it.
I feel that. You with Conor on that. I feel that.
That's how I feel. Like, you don't, like, to me, it like really, real true martial artists and, fans and peers, we know that the belt that is recognized as you being the top guy, being the man, being the baddest motherfucker, is you holding the belt in the weight class in which you compete.
And I love it. So now let's do this, because to me, I felt like that belt was for the fans, because people know styles make fights, and it's certain people that realize their style and the way they fight really doesn't work well, or who may be coming for their belt. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it's kind of like that BMF belt, that was a fan-based belt. Nate against Diaz, I'm sorry, Nate Diaz against Masvidal wasn't necessarily the best for Nate to attack. It wasn't the best ideal situation. And the fact that he was just like, dude, I don't care. I'm gonna go get this dude. I don't care. And still, because you gotta realize, Nate beat Conor.
Yeah. I feel, you know what? It's funny you say that.
Think about that.
Because I feel like
that's a fan belt, because they know this I ain't ducking you. If you want to come get it, because it can go either way type of belt.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that, because I was just thinking about this the other day. I feel like that BMF belt would have a little more validity if that belt was cultivated during the preparation of the rubber match between McGregor and Diaz.
I feel that.
Because
but that would be like the ultimate. You see where if that went to, because they 1-1, right? And then it was like, if Nate takes out Masvidal, Conor comes back and fights Nate again. Here's the BMF, snatch that, then I go after the title. That is like the way of line. Masvidal, he's implanted himself in there. Mm-hmm. Nate was like, I'm gonna come back and implant myself. He straps but then he gets knocked down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so that wasn't how that was supposed to go.
It wasn't how Thank you.
That wasn't how,
Thank
exactly
you.
like that was not how
Thank
that was
you.
supposed to go.
Thank
Like, at
you.
all.
All this stuff has gotten convoluted and screwed up.
Yeah.
Askren's like, dude, I'm retired, dude. I'm
Yeah,
done.
I'm done. I'm cool.
I'm cool.
I'm
Hey,
good
look,
where I'm good what I'm doing. Let me run my
I
wrestling school and let me. I'm cool.
it's been real. Like you literally have been. I'm in. I got this deal, and I've been eliminated. Like
Literally within two, 3 fights. I'm cool.
I don't want
You
no
know what I'm
parts.
saying? Like I don't want no more.
You want some of this, old man? No.
Like,
He's like, I don't want no parts of this. No, so he's done. So then you got this situation now. How do we get to Masvidal versus Usman? Because guess what? Conor just fought Cowboy. And Masvidal was talking mad smack, like, man, if you want it, come get it.
and
Think about this.
If you listen even during the build up for him fighting Nate, right? If you listen to what Masvidal was saying when they would ask him about Conor, before Conor was even set in stone that Conor was coming back, he was like, Dana White has deemed me too much man for Conor. That fight will never happen, X, Y, and Z. Now Conor comes back, they're asking him about it again. He's like, it'll end very violently for Conor and all of that. Even up until 30 seconds before the walkout for Conor and Cowboy. Even then, you know what I'm saying? After Conor McGregor beats the snot out of Cowboy, this is how you know the cameraman ain't shit. because right after that happened, who was the first shot that they went to?
Masvidal.
Masvidal was like, and sat down. Post-fight interview, Conor is calling out everybody. Paul Felder at the announce table, Masvidal, Usman. He's like anybody sitting cage side can get it. They went right to Masvidal first. Masvidal sitting there with the BMF belt, quiet as a church mouse. The next day, what was it? Well, that was a Saturday. By Monday morning, Masvidal was like, "Yeah, I'm off that Conor fight." And here's why I feel like this was it. Because even before that, he was like, "Yeah, I'd rather fight Conor first before I go and fight Usman." And he kept saying he didn't like Usman. Now, here's why, and here's how I feel like we got to this point. Before everything was set in stone, even before, even when the buildup between Kamaru and Covington was happening, they were asking Masvidal, hey, who do you want to, do you feel like you're going to fight for the title and everything like that? He was like, really, I'm the money fight. I feel like the rest of these dudes is just seeing who's going to fight me next. You feel what I'm saying? Like, who wants to fight me? I think they're chasing me. I'm the big dog. I'm the money fight. I'm the hottest guy, the whole deal. Now Conor comes back. You're no longer the money fight.
Right.
You are no longer that. So now Conor has put himself in a position to where he can either wait to see how the dust settles with Khabib and Ferguson, because everybody wants to see that Khabib Conor 2 fight.
Yep.
But Tony Ferguson is another person that can throw a wrench in all of that.
Yep.
You feel what I'm saying? So it's not a guarantee that Khabib is gonna beat Tony. Everybody has been saying Tony's the guy to beat Khabib. Everybody's been saying that. So it's not a foregone conclusion that a Khabib Conor fight for the belt is going to happen immediately. And I think Conor can kind of see that. So when they asked him, how do you feel? He was like, that title fight, that second Khabib fight was always going to be there. I want to see how I do at welterweight. And this is where I feel like Jorge was thinking. He was like, wait a minute. Conor is not automatically jumping back to the lightweight. Everybody knows or can probably feel that all Conor got to do is say, "This is what I want to happen, and it's gonna happen."
Yep.
It's so. All Conor had to do was say, "Yep, I want Kamaru Usman next." Kamaru's not he's not turning down that fight. He's not turning down that money. So Jorge's like, "Wait a minute, hold on. Now I'm off of that. I want Kamaru next."
Yep.
Because his position was in jeopardy.
His position was in jeopardy, dude.
It was in jeopardy. And it was more so in jeopardy because, one, if you look at the landscape of the welterweight division, right? Colby Covington ain't fighting until after the summer because of the broken jaw, fractured jaw, broken jaw, whatever. Leon Edwards and Tyron Woodley are fighting in March, I believe. So neither one of them is going to be probably available for a proper build-up for International Fight Week, right? So now that leaves, and now with Conor beating Cowboy at welterweight, that automatically put him above Leon Edwards in ranking. So now Conor's top 5 welterweight. Kamaru, Jorge, Conor. All Conor got to do is say, "I want Kamaru." Dana's going to make that happen.
Yep.
And it's going to happen International Fight Week.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Jorge realized that. So now he's
chasing. He's like, I gotta get it.
I need this.
I need to get it. That's why I was telling you that. And you see the big picture of it now. I told you.
Now, which is why I felt like listening to Dana, he was like, that was always the plan, but the way that they had their run in earlier in the week, it kind of
forced the hand
to put it out there.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Like as soon as he did.
Yes.
So, and I kind of feel like after the Kobe fight, Kamaru kind of put that seed out there anyway, because they asked him about Masvidal. He kept saying who. Everybody that's been following this know that they know each other. Kamaru he knows who it is. He knows who dude is.
That's why I said I'm gonna go look up that early situation you talked about.
Yeah, go ahead and go look. They know who each other are. They're familiar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and then my thing is, Masvidal kind of, the way I feel like Kamaru was responding to the energy that Masvidal was putting out there. When somebody else is getting ready for a fight and you keep calling them a bum and all this type of stuff and all of that, I want to fight Kobe and all of that, and then the dude ultimately beat your teammate. Now, when they ask him about him, he's like, "Man, I ain't worried about dude. Like, nah, he ain't even on my radar." Now you feel slighted, but you was just giving that energy off, like,
yeah.
Now I'm the guy. But no, who really is the guy is like, now you got a problem. And then what happened the other day? Everybody knows the Super Bowl week in Miami, right? It's international news. Before that run-in, Kamaru had an interview with Joe Rogan. It was his second trip back on the podcast, and it's not a secret that Kamaru's hand is was injured a little bit, to the point where they needed to put him in a cast. Everybody knows that. Joe Rogan, if you follow Joe Rogan, that information is out there.
Right.
Jorge is known for running his background. It don't take much for him to swing on you, no matter what your circumstances are. It don't take much. I.e. the point with Leon Edwards, him piecing him up backstage just for interrupting his interview. Kamaru has done more than interrupt an interview. He done went on his own personal interviews talking about you. So why would you go with a camera and approach a man that you already know is injured if you have and you got this big problem with him and you have no intention of swinging on him? Now, at first, remember, exactly. Now, at first, remember when me and you had the conversation, I was like, bro, that's a bullying. For me, that's a bullying tactic, right?
Right.
It's a bullying tactic. But what you didn't think, I don't see people look at Kamaru and, you know, how his speech and everything like that, how he talks, and they feel like, oh, well, you know, I could probably press up on dude and he ain't gonna say too much and everything like that.
I don't think he wanted to put hands on him.
Listen.
I don't think he wanted to put hands on him. I think he was set. The stage had to be set. The stage had to be set so it could not be freaking Conor McGregor versus Usman. It just had to be. We gotta wait on that because I've positioned myself where it's supposed to be Askren taking on the main man.
Mm-hmm.
And Conor was about to take my position away.
Yeah. So, I get it, and I get it now. I get that. But here's, in between all of that, you gotta understand, and me and you, and I talked to you about this, right? There's certain things you can't do to certain people, right? And me and Pete had this conversation, and he was like, "This is the UFC's fault."
Shout out to Pete Spratt.
I said, you know, it's one thing to run up on somebody to cause a confrontation, right? Whatever. We done seen run-ins in casinos and all of that. We done seen this before. But what you don't do is do this. Everybody knows what that means. And then you bop and you do all of that. That's that's street behavior. That's hood behavior, right? That's where I feel like that bullying part came in, and that's what I don't rock with. And I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of people down here don't rock with that at all. Because when that happened and that got put out there, my phone blew up. Like I told you, I grew up with dude. I know dude personally. I know his family personally. It's the same. It's just like with Snoop said about Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar is not a gangster. But Kendrick Lamar got 1 million gangsters behind him. So it's best not to mess with him like that. When Jorge did that, bop, moving back, when they was being separated, he's like bop, bop, like that. You set some things in motion that you probably weren't aware of doing it to that guy because you don't see that guy like that. When that guy put out in the public, my phone blew up. Jorge better not step foot in Dallas. And we know about it. Conor can do that. Conor can run up on Khabib and throw a dolly in the window, and ain't nobody in the States and nobody bad or not. Let that happen in Russia.
Right.
Let that happen somewhere overseas where you can easily be grabbed.
Yep.
This would be a totally different conversation. And this is where Pete was like, the UFC, they looking at the money situation. I get it. It's a business. But there's a difference between these dudes that look at it as entertainment and these real dudes that come from backgrounds or got people that come from backgrounds that really rock that it's a different thing.
Yep.
You feel what I'm saying?
I agree.
Like that really come from that. That really come from that environment. You put people at risk doing that. And Jorge, man, when I tell you Jorge wouldn't have got away with that shit in Dallas, man.
I believe
it. No. You did that he did that in Miami.
It's crazy, dude.
Even though Kamaru live down there, live in South Florida and all of that, it ain't nothing for them to run in the Whole Foods. Like when he said, if I run into Ben Askren and Whole Foods, I might. You're not running into Ben Askren and Whole Foods, bro. Like Ben Askren lives nowhere in Florida.
Right.
He lives in Florida. Y'all probably like 20, 30 minutes apart from each other.
Right, man.
It's nothing for y'all to run into each other. It's nothing.
Dude, man, let me tell you, we got an exciting one coming up. I am proud of Masvidal for positioning himself. He went about it a crazy way, but he went
about it a real way. That's him.
But
let's not get it twisted. That's him.
But for him to maneuver the way he's done to get to where he's now ultimately at, I mean, you got to really think. It's almost like this is that last run. He's been fighting a long time, man. So this is that last this is my last rodeo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like it's almost like here it is. And I think he's definitely threw a lot of wrenches in the game and brought a lot of excitement. And I'm just hoping that it turns out to be an amazing fight because Usman just is exciting everybody. Like, we'll see what's going to come. Dragons out there, get ready for something exciting. I think I might have to show a little highlights around this, man, because from where they are to where we at now, it don't even seem real, bro. It don't seem real at all. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. And like people are like, what's up with these money fights and all of that different type of stuff? Like, they look at guys like Usman or not like Usman, but like Masvidal and feel like, oh man, he just came on the scene and all of that, this, that, and the third. Like, no, like there's a reason these guys are like, yo, Masvidal ain't that much older than me. You feel what I'm saying? And he's had damn near 50 fights.
Been fighting a long time.
So it's like, you gotta. If I've been fighting this long and I've been a part of the sport at the beginning at a time where like nobody, it wasn't but a few people that was really getting any real money for that time to now where social media is a big thing. You're really concerned about your following, your image, your character, the whole nine. And you can really capitalize on the money you could potentially make based all around buzz and all of that. Like
movies, that's a whole new.
It's a whole movement.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing, man. And it goes back to the culture. Like before Usman took the title from T Wood, but T Wood was getting some mad movies going on. He did Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah,
he did some things, man. So it's like these
even
opportunities.
Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, these opportunities.
If we want to keep it real, dog, as an active fighter, Ronda Rousey really capitalized on the money.
Oh yeah,
because it wasn't like she wasn't like she was getting her bread fighting. But I guarantee you, over half the money she got.
Did she do Mission Impossible? She did some big movies.
No, she did. She did one of the Fast and Fury movies.
Fast. I knew she did Fast. Yeah,
She
yeah,
did. I
yeah.
think she did the Expendables.
I know she did like these action movies because I remember one of the movies she was like the car. That might have been the Fast and Furious movie. Where they
Yeah.
was at the top of like
Yeah,
Dubai or
that was
something. They was
Fast
in
and
Dubai.
Furious.
Yeah, man.
She did the Expendables, and then she did Entourage. She had an appearance in the Entourage movie. So Rhonda was in high demand. She was on every commercial. Metro PCS was behind her.
Right, man.
Bro, Rhonda was getting her bread.
Getting money. But shoot,
You know
anyway,
what I mean?
let's get back on it, man. We gonna wrap this one up.
Yeah.
Do you have a prediction on this fight?
I got Kamaru
and
I got Kamaru by, I'll say 4th round submission.
Wow. I got it going all the way. I think it's gonna be a bloodbath. 5. I think it's going on all the way to 5, and Kamaru has his hands up at the end.
Yeah, I think by the end result will be Kamaru still champion. For me,
I think it's gonna be a bloodbath. I think
you think it's gonna be a bloodbath.
I think so.
I don't think it's going. I think it's going to be.
I think Masvidal is going to have to try to put them hands on Kamaru to keep that dude off of him, and Kamaru is going to be positioning himself to take this dude to the ground and pound the heck out of him, and make him. He might try to embarrass Masvidal, and Masvidal.
That's what I'm.
And Masvidal is a tough dude, and the dude is going to be. I think it's going to be a bloodbath. I think you're going to see some like, okay, let me do this a little differently. It's going to be some different things happening. It's going to be some. You watch the way it moves. Like you saw how Masvidal made Nate. I mean, Nate cut easy too, though. But
yeah,
it's gonna be an interesting fight, man.
But that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's a submission, a 4th round submission, because Kamaru can, the way he approaches and the way he prepares, like he'll put together a game plan to where he will take the stamina, take the soul, and then finish him with a submission. Because I don't.
Well, wait. That's perfect. Stop right there, because I want to take that to the next episode. That's straight. Let's stop right there. We're going to finish. This is to be continued right here, T. Perry, man. We got to continue this. Yeah. All right, fam. This is Roy Rob, In the Last Dragon signing out. T. Perry, all right, man. Appreciate you as always, fam. Later.
All right, now.